Mary Stuart, known as Mary, Queen of Scots, was one of the most fascinating and tragic figures in European history. Born on December 8, 1542, in Linlithgow Palace, Scotland, Mary's life was marked by political intrigue, religious turmoil, and personal tragedy. She reigned over Scotland as queen and became embroiled in the struggles for power between Catholics and Protestants in Europe, leading to her eventual imprisonment and execution by her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I of England. Her story is a tale of ambition, betrayal, and the volatile intersection of politics and religion in the 16th century. Early life and ascension to the throne. Mary was born to King James V of Scotland and his French-born wife, Mary of Guise. Just 6 days after Mary's birth, her father died, making her Queen of Scotland while still an infant. Because she was too young to govern, a regency was established, and her mother, Mary of Guise, assumed the role of regent. As a child queen, Mary's future was of great interest to both Scotland and France. In a move to secure a strong alliance with France, Mary was betrothed at the age of 5 to the French Dauphin, Francis. She was sent to France to be raised at the French court, where she grew up in luxury, receiving an excellent education befitting her royal status. She became fluent in French, Latin, Spanish, and Italian, and was known for her intelligence, charm, and beauty. Marriage to Francis and Queen of France. In 1558, at the age of 16, Mary married the Dauphin, Francis, solidifying the Franco-Scottish alliance. The following year, Francis ascended the French throne as King Francis II, making Mary not only Queen of Scots but also Queen of France. This position gave her significant influence in European politics, especially in Catholic circles. However, her reign as Queen of France was brief. Francis II died in December 1560, just 17 months after becoming king, leaving Mary a widow at the age of 18. With her husband's death, Mary's position in France weakened. She no longer held power at the French court, and her mother-in-law, Catherine de' Medici, assumed control. This left Mary in a precarious position, and she decided to return to Scotland, where her presence was much needed. Return to Scotland and political turmoil. Mary returned to Scotland in 1561 at the age of 18 to assume her role as queen. However, the Scotland she returned to was vastly different from the one she had left. During her time in France, the Protestant Reformation had taken root in Scotland, and the country was now divided between Catholic and Protestant factions. John Knox, a fiery Protestant reformer, had gained significant influence, and his followers sought to diminish the power of the Catholic monarchy. As a devout Catholic, Mary faced immediate challenges from the Protestant nobility. She attempted to maintain a careful balance between her Catholic faith and the growing Protestant movement in Scotland, but tensions were always high. Knox himself openly preached against Mary, condemning her as a symbol of Catholic tyranny. Despite the religious divide, Mary proved herself a capable and politically astute ruler during the early years of her reign, managing to navigate the complex political landscape of Scotland. Marriage to Lord Darnley. In 1565, Mary made a politically significant but ultimately disastrous marriage to her cousin, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. Darnley was also a descendant of the Tudor line, making him a potential claimant to the English throne. Their union, which was intended to strengthen Mary's claim to the English crown, quickly deteriorated due to Darnley's arrogance, immaturity, and violent behavior. Their marriage produced one child, James, who was born in 1566, and would later become King James VI of Scotland and James I of England, uniting the crowns of Scotland and England. However, by the time of James's birth, the relationship between Mary and Darnley had irreparably broken down. Darnley became increasingly jealous and power-hungry, and in 1567 he was mysteriously murdered at Kirkfield, a house near Edinburgh. Marriage to the Earl of Bothwell. The murder of Darnley and the subsequent events marked the beginning of Mary's downfall. Many suspected that Mary was complicit in Darnley's death, although no conclusive evidence has ever been found. Adding to the scandal, just 3 months after Darnley's death, Mary married James Hepburn, the Earl of Bothwell, who was widely believed to have been involved in Darnley's murder. This marriage caused a national scandal. Many of Mary's supporters turned against her, believing she had dishonored the crown by marrying Bothwell. Noble factions rose in rebellion, and in 1567, Mary was forced to abdicate the Scottish throne in favor of her infant son, James VI. She was imprisoned in Loch Leven Castle, and Bothwell fled into exile, eventually dying in Denmark. Escape and flight to England. In 1568, Mary managed to escape from Loch Leven Castle and briefly raised an army to reclaim her throne. However, her forces were defeated at the Battle of Langside, and Mary was forced to flee Scotland. Seeking refuge, she made the fateful decision to cross into England, hoping that her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I, would offer her protection and support in reclaiming her throne. Mary's arrival in England posed an immediate problem for Elizabeth. As a Catholic with a legitimate claim to the English throne, Mary became a focal point for Catholic opposition to Elizabeth's Protestant rule. Over the next 19 years, Mary lived under house arrest in various castles and manors in England, as Elizabeth's advisors debated what to do with her. Mary's presence in England was a continuous source of tension and fear for Elizabeth's government. The Babington Plot and Mary's execution. In 1586, a group of Catholic conspirators, led by Anthony Babington, plotted to assassinate Elizabeth and place Mary on the English throne. Unbeknownst to the conspirators, their communications were being intercepted by Elizabeth's spymaster, Sir Francis Walsingham. Through these intercepted letters, Mary was implicated in the plot, though it is still debated how directly she was involved. Elizabeth, who had long resisted calls to execute her cousin, was now forced to take action. On October 25, 1586, Mary was put on trial for treason. Despite maintaining her innocence, she was found guilty and sentenced to death. Elizabeth, deeply reluctant to sign the execution warrant, eventually did so under pressure from her advisors. On February 8, 1587, Mary was executed at Fotheringhay Castle. She met her death with dignity, dressed in black and red, the colors of Catholic martyrdom. Her execution, however, did not resolve the political and religious conflicts between Catholics and Protestants in England and Scotland. Legacy: Mary, Queen of Scots, is remembered as a tragic figure whose life was shaped by the tumultuous politics of her time. Her beauty, intelligence, and royal blood made her a key figure in the European power struggles of the 16th century, while her Catholic faith placed her in direct opposition to the Protestant Reformation sweeping through Scotland and England. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.